TWM podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Wrestling World Report, looking at the big wide world of international and independent wrestling, from the armories to the domes and all places in between. Before we get into any of that and we introduce the co-host, I am Matty Deller. Hello there. Let's get the admin out of the way first. TWM Podcasts, bringing you news, reviews and interviews 6 days a week on Apple and Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Acast, TuneIn, Podbean and YouTube. If you are listening on YouTube and you aren't subscribed, please do so. Also, smash that like button and turn on notifications so you do not miss an episode or special video content, which we've got more coming very, very soon. Babyface app. We love them, they love us. Check them out on Apple and Google Play Store. They're great if you're a fan of British wrestling. They have articles up there, some from TWM. Please check them out. We love sport. They help pay the bills. They're a fantastic app. Find you near a sports bar showcasing the latest WWE pay-per-views. You can check out up to 400 of the best sports bars and pubs in the UK at your fingertips. They're helping us out with us going for WrestleMania, watching it in London, and they're helping the Welsh lot out because they're doing an event up in Cardiff, so make sure you check that out. You can also book front row seats, which we've all done. Download the We Love Sport app on the App Store and Google Play Store. Fantastic app, very easy to use, very manageable. Follow them at We Love Sport UK and then check out welovesport.co. And WrestleCrate. Use the code TWM Wrestling for the three items, which is really hard to say with my accent, when you sign up for a monthly box subscription. Use the code TWM Wrestling at wrestlecrate.co.uk. Lovely stuff. Joining me as always is my friend and yours, Mr. Mike Mears.
Good afternoon, good evening, and if it's neither of those, good morning.
Yes, indeed. We're going to start off on a bit of a somber note. We are dedicating this episode to a fallen member of the independent wrestling fraternity, and actually a close friend of a lot of the people within TWM. Those in the British wrestling community would have been saddened by the news of the passing of Christopher Owl, and if you're not aware of who this is, Chris was a big member of the Welsh wrestling scene, was a big part of Attack Pro Wrestling in its embryonic days, even though, and then going forward as a big fan and supporter of Attack Pro Wrestling, and Mike, an all-round lovely bloke.
Yeah, it's been a crazy sort of just over 24 hours now since I found out. The close-knit group that I've got, it's hit all of us quite hard.
Yeah.
Like, some of us knew Chris a massive amount, some of us knew him less than that, but everybody had echoed the same sentiment of how much of amazing sort of guy he was. He wasn't just well known within sort of the Welsh wrestling and British wrestling contingent. A weird slight off story. I had to go to the opticians in April of last year. I was just casually talking to the optician while she tested my eyes, and the constant talk of wrestling came up, and I found out she was actually a friend of Chris's, and she knew Chris through him wrestling, through him training to wrestle with Dragon Pro. So that's actually kind of a sign of how far wide-reaching he was. He's an amazing guy. Nobody ever had a bad word to say to him. Always had a smile on his face. And if you've ever been to an Attack show, especially in Cardiff, and you're unaware who Chris was, just think of the guy with massive dreadlocks, and you'll know who he is.
I was also gonna say lovely outpouring of messages from loads of people from Attack, and from what I never personally met the man, but I heard how much of a lovely, fun-loving guy he was, and I think the best memory to have of Chris would be the gif that was going around of the dive that he attempted to do.
Yeah, the dive from the 5-on-5 originals match after the Cardiff Under the Mistletoe show in 2018.
We say dive. Yeah. An attempt was made.
It was a dive where he caught his feet on the ropes.
But yeah, just kind of. Yeah, we're dedicated. I think the least we could do is kind of show some love to Chris. Obviously, thoughts go out to his family and loved ones, and kind of dedicate this episode to him. Not sure what kind of dedication it is, because it's our podcast. It's just two guys chatting nonsense, but I thought if that doesn't describe the fraternity and love of the British wrestling scene, I don't know what will. Let's talk some MLW. Fusion opens up with the Country Unit hyping up tonight's main event, and they talk about basically all the 36 feuds that they've got. We then open with AJ Kirsch, who introduces Mance Warner, but nope, the Dynasty turn up, and basically Holiday has basically become the de facto leader of the Dynasty now. I think MJF is pretty much gone in MLW canon, so...
Because, well, I messaged you last night going... did I miss them writing MJF off?
They've not written him off. They've just had him. He's basically just. I have to.
He
go
died
now.
on his way back to his home planet.
Yeah, and Rich Holiday's taken his place, and he's very good. We said he's very, very good.
I was thinking how I sort of missed how subtly they did that transition. Because now I think back, that they gave Holiday a little bit more every sort of set of tapings, and now he's so confident in that role that he can thrive massively. What
they've done is very, very clever, because whereas most places would probably replace the leader of a faction with another person to take over as the leader, but instead what they've done, and it's nicely done as well by MLW, is they've brought in Gino Medina to replace the spot that Rich Holiday had, and then put Rich Holiday in the MJF spot, which works really, really well.
Shockingly, it's that thing that a lot of businesses don't do, and yet it makes a lot of sense to do, and it's promote from within.
Yes, indeed.
So the Dynasty have promoted from within, and then brought somebody on the lower level. See,
taking the old
that could have been.
Taking the old La Masia approach. Is that La Masia? Yes. The Barcelona? Yeah, Barcelona. So then he says it's time for Rich talk, because the crowd need to be educated, and he puts over Hammerstone, who then mocks the fans about their tans, because none of them have reached 91 Hogan.
I'm not quite sure what level MJF hit on the weekend, but that's a different conversation.
I'm fairly certain he was 2004 Miz.
Yes, that's bang on, actually.
Hammerstone puts over Gino Medina. Medina's about to talk about all things Conan, but then Conan turns up and does Conan stuff. He calls the show Dick Talk, because of course he does, which has basically ruined my new my new talk show that I was gonna have, Richard Talk, because that's what they're talking about. That's what we're getting around the swear. Remember, no more swearing on TWM podcast for now until we change our minds. So if I say Dick Talk, they're clearly talking about Richard. That's what's happening. Dynasty circle Conan, but then Mansa, Vega, and Logan Creed make the save in the weirdest trio possibly of all time. Manta says no one is here for their BS and challenges them to a match, and Ollie just goes no and walks off, but then Manta calls Hammer a very rude name, so they all have a fight, and we get the Dynasty over Mance Warner, Savio Vega, and Logan Creed, who I cannot get out of my mind, who looks like Simon Miller if he was wearing some sort of Demolition style cosplay.
He's the fourth member of Legion of Doom. LOD 2020.
It's the I love that. It's the evolution of LOD. Hawk, Animal, Heidenreich, Creed. And somewhere Droz is somewhere in there. All six men brawl to open. Logan Creed overpowers Holiday, but then Hammer and Gino double team him. Then they do a triple team. Dynasty work over Creed. We get a Vega, in air quotes, hot tag. Creed comes in for a double choke slam. More brawling. Creed is a big dive onto Medina and Hammer, and then Holiday hits Vega with the Caribbean. By the way, Holiday's wearing the Caribbean Championship around all the time, which is great.
Well, he is Caribbean champion.
He is officially. He hits him with the belt behind the ref's back for the win. Yeah, it was okay. It was a decent match. So
it's to progress the story, isn't it? It does stuff with Mance, so it's alright.
What I love is that in the most petty act ever, Conan just comes up behind Gino Medina and just slapjacks him.
It's the sort of thing over the head. The stuff you do in school when you run up behind someone and just slap them and just run away.
Wrestlers should do that more often. They slap them back in, or just granddad people. Bring back granddadding. Hashtag granddad 2020. Then Conan is still there, but then Injustice come out and Jordan Oliver just mocks him for being old. and threaten to slap him out of the ring. Then Brian Pillman comes in and scares him off of a chair. Is he wrestling? No, he's on commentary because of his shoulder. We get Kota Brazil and Jordan Oliver versus Laredo Kid and Zenshi. There was so many flips in this, Michael.
Yeah, I was quite happy to see Laredo Kid and Zenshi together. They've got a really good sort of chemistry.
Injustice jumpstart the match, and they pay for it as Zenshi basically nearly kills Kota Brazil by doing a Ranty outside, and Kota Brazil goes head first into the floor.
Do you know what I found really weird? Sorry to cut you off, but Jordan Oliver was... Like, I thought he was going to get shit on by the crowd because they were in Philadelphia in the 2300 arena.
Yeah.
Which obviously CZW run, and he's a heel there.
Yeah, so I
was quite surprised.
Yeah, interesting. They work over Laredo. Basically, Injustice then crotch Laredo Kid, and they work him over, and Brian calls it a cruiserweight belt. No, it's a middleweight belt. Close enough. Oliver goes for the brainbuster, but he crucially tries to he lycoses it, so Zenshi does a madness on him. We get a fast flurry of big moves from all four men. Ryan Reed distracts Laredo Kid, allows Brazil to kick him, and then Zenshi continues to do a madness with like these mad kicks where he's kicking two people at the same time. But then we get a very nice move where Koto locks himself in for a crucifix, and then Jordan hits the stunner into a crucifix bomb. It was quite a nice little finish there for Injustice.
Cut the perverts.
Injustice got in Pillman's face, so Laredo Kid dove on all of them. Then Reed tried to attack Kid, got dropped, and Laredo Kid did a visual pin. Hooray!
Outside of the match against somebody who wasn't even in the match.
Disgusting. Or WCW in the mid-90s.
They did the equivalent of giving him a non-title win without having the match.
Anyway, it's Tom Lawler time.
The only time that matters on MLW.
Yes, indeed. Lawler says the riot last week was the best thing to happen to Texas. This is all brilliant heel work. Lawler's like, sorry, I needed to itch my crotch and it was a soft fabric. Guarini needed to spit. He's like, and then Alex goes, "It's cold and flu season, guys. If only they had time
know about coronavirus."
Yeah, if only they had time to be like him going, "It's coronavirus season, guys. I've got to be careful here." However, Eric Stevens is now the biggest heel because he mocked Walker Texas Ranger. How dare he?
I can't wait for MLW to bring in Chuck Norris.
Confirmed. That's the main event for their second ever pay-per-view. It's Eric Stevens versus Chuck Norris.
Versus all of Tom Lawler's posse.
Yeah. They mock the Von Erichs in Texas, and they've bonded over the hatred of the Von Erichs. Injustice work fast because they recorded a video and it's already out and edited and on TV. They complain about Brian Pillman basically going, "Stay away from us, you're too fat for the middleweight title." Which is a brilliant diss. Be like, "You should be fighting us, you're too fat for this belt." Which is highly amusing. They'll say they'll be front row for the Havoc Pillman match next week. I wonder if they're going to have a thing of Pillman cutting weight and beating Reed for the belt. Maybe. So... and having the whole...
Makes sense.
Yeah, having the whole Pillman cruiserweight thing like his dad. Priscilla Kelly and Jimmy Havoc, they're still here. They have a message for Pillman too. Havoc said in the ECW arena, Havoc's going to give Pillman a dose of acid rain. And then I realise, is this the tape? Are these the tapings where Killer Cross is meant to be on, or have they just conveniently now forgot about it?
This is the tapings that he was at, but they were still advertising him, weren't they?
So we're not sure. We'll see if he turns up in the next few weeks then.
I'm pretty sure he'll turn up.
Alicia Atout then caught up with the Von Erichs, and they went, "Texas flag is sacred, and a reckoning is coming for Lawler." The cameras then caught up with King Mo, who said Loki walks around and acts tough, and then he said, "Flip Loki," but the rude version. Main event. Lumberjack match as Lost Parks defeated Contra Unit in a match that was, as expected, insane.
Of course, when you've got a Lost Parks, yes. It's always going to be
a lot of brawling. It's a usual lumberjack match with like being thrown in the front and back out. Chairs ahoy! We get sexy Hee-Ho with the swivel hips.
I did like the blue suit he was wearing this week.
I know, I did. I like the fact he wears it. It's almost as if he's acting out towards his dad. He's like, "You're not my... Yeah. I'm wearing my blue suit, Dad. You can't control me." Stopping him in the Park household. "How dare you go out like this? This is not the season for blue. We wear black when we go to MLW." Samael then hit hit Hio with a spike to take control. We then get dissension between the Lumberjacks as Injustice tried to go after Hio, but the faces stop them. I wonder how this turns out. LA Park comes in, runs wild, hits the best spear in the goddamn business to Joseph Samael, and he basically just goes headfirst into the bottom turnbuckle, so he's dead. Hio then spikes Samael and then does what could be the silliest, most dangerous thing I've ever seen. He puts the spike into his suit trousers, which, by the way, ruined my entire illusion of Rev Pro when I realised the LA Park bodysuit is not a bodysuit. It's a top and trousers.
Yeah.
Legitimately upset me. Demanded my refund.
Brilliant.
He then puts it into...
Well done!
Well done! He puts it in his trousers and there was a moonsault. I'm like, you are dangerously close to spiking yourself in the penis. Like...
He was trying to give himself a second asshole.
It's just, yeah. We get the moonsault and then a Park twisting moonsault for the win. It was an okay episode of Impact. It had Tom Lawler, it had the Parks. Therefore, I am more than happy with all of this.
And we had Mance.
And we had Mance, so it had all of the heavy hits. News that reached about MLW earlier today is that El Torito has signed with MLW. So... good for him.
Well, they have got Masqueridas Dorada on the next set of tapings in Mexico.
So I imagine that's why they brought in Torito to wrestle with Sagrada.
Yeah,
bring some minis in. Minis are fun. They're always a giggle.
They'll certainly treat them better than WWF did in the 90s.
You say that, but genuinely, what was I listening back to? It was... it might have been actually Attitude Era podcast. They did one of the last pay-per-views, and they turned around and went, they were amazed at how well presented the minis were given and how little well presented the light heavyweight division was. So I think they were worse presented in TNA rather than WWF.
Well, yeah. And as long as you don't get Puppet turn up in MLW, that's fine.
We don't want him pulling the gun on anybody. Just would like to let you know that the Wrestling World Report is brought to you in association with the Babyface app, available on the Google Store and the Apple Store. Now, what is the Babyface app? Well, if you're a British wrestling fan, it is the only thing that matters. Want to check out what the latest shows are in your area? The Babyface app can do that. Want to check out the win-loss record for your favourite wrestler at the moment? The Babyface app can do that. Do you want to bring back the glory that was the Origin Banter Edition? Sadly, Babyface haven't got that kind of sorted out yet. Imagine it's in the beta stage, I can be assured. But if you want to check out any of their matches from Progress or anywhere else past, you can check it out at the Babyface app. Also, you can read loads of articles from loads of esteemed wrestling personnel, including ourselves, TWM. You can check out all of our BritWres articles in one easy place, and that is the Babyface app on the Google Play Store and Apple Store. Powerrr! Opened with a television title match.
Wow, I hope nobody had their volume turned up loud then.
RIP headphone users. Yeah, we got a new TV champion. Ziggy Dice, outlandish, defeated Ricky Starks. In all fairness,
I wasn't shocked by this.
I wasn't shocked at all, because genuinely, if there's one person that's... If you listen, actually, go back and listen to the Stu Bennett preview of... it would have been Hard Times, and he spoke about, he goes, someone that I didn't like at first and that has really grown on me is Zicky Dice. I agree, his character is pretty much Swingers in Impact, but with the volume turned way up. It's brilliant. Like, it's really good, and they need someone like him to have that belt. Starks probably should move on to the national title down the road, or maybe even he's should get a kind of a world title, getting the world title picture up post.
Well, I was thinking earlier, obviously with the Lucky Seven, sort of like asterisk that goes along with the television title, they can have this as a title that they can bounce around between wrestlers every like 6 weeks or so.
Yeah.
And with that, they can build up their crop, so they've always got a hungry crop just underneath like the two other titles that are more prestigious. And as you're passing this title around the guys underneath, you're then building them up at the same time.
Yeah.
So then, when you need someone to step up, they're ready to step up. You can build them straight into that in like 8 weeks. Have them lose the title. And then bang, you can move them up
straight away
because they're ready to go for it. Even if you have them defend it 7 times and then give the title up to go after the main title,
the old Option C thing from Impact. So yeah, we get some stalling at the start of the match. Then Zicky takes down Starks, and they both compare push-ups. Starks then takes control. Dice then snaps his neck over the ropes and then starts bending around the ring post, and it's a big baseball slide into the ribs. Stark hits goes for the DDT, but kind of slips, and then hits the Falcon Arrow, which no one kicks out of, but he got a near fall. Dice hit the snake rattle and roll, but then Starks had his foot underneath the bottom rope. He then hits him with the tries to go for the fanny pack. There's some shenanigans, some pin attempts, and then he sits down on the pin, Brett and Bulldog style, to pick up the win. Zicky Dice then tries to talk to Dave Marquez, but then Tom Latimer comes out and goes, "Get out of here! I'm Northern," and demands to speak to Joe Galley, and says, "You want to speak to my bird down to pit," and says that Camille's going to speak on NWA Power next week, or say next week, the week after next, but the next episode.
Yeah, which confused things a lot, didn't it?
Yeah, we then see footage from the Gateway Arena at the NWA Crockett Cup press conference. Marty Scurll says he needs to become NWA champion, and Nick Aldis says he is the champion, and then there is everybody else. We then get the little question, which was incredibly confusing. Did not understand this whatsoever.
Yeah, they didn't set this up, did they?
It must have been on last week's episode, because we didn't. Was it on would it have been last week's episode?
No, it wasn't.
I feel like I've missed something. Like, did I fast forward
They
through
didn't
this?
set this up. It seemed to just appear.
However, they just said you can buy Mongrovian flags on the NWA shop, so I'm assuming you've bought 12.
Oh, yeah, the NWA are the official stock list. The only stock list outside of Monrovia, the beautiful country of Monrovia. So NWA are the only official stock list. So anywhere else, if you see them on Wish, they're fakes.
Yeah, fake flags. Yeah, I'm assuming, have you bought their entire stock?
I need to double check the website. I've got 38 here at the moment, and there's a couple more coming over the following days.
I can hear a lorry pulling up now, I believe, with more Mongrovian flags.
Actually, it's a big black lorry with a question mark on it. So yeah, it must be.
It's either that or they'd be a bit getting done for your TV licence.
Well, no, paid.
Aaron Stevens discusses belts with Dave Marquez and asks why they haven't been given a tag team title shot. They call out some legends, and the Rock and Roll Express appear and basically calls them old, and then goes, "It's time for you to do business, and then I'll get you into Hollywood." And they're like, "Do you want to fight?" And he just goes, he goes, "Yes, fight coordinators. I know some of the best ones in the business." Doesn't he try and explain something to someone, and he goes, "No, that's my old gimmick."
Yeah, he comes out with something and he goes, "Oh, sorry, wrong gimmick."
Yeah, just brilliant.
But I couldn't tell if he was making a reference to Damien Sandow, or if he's trying to say no, I don't think he said gimmick. I think he says character.
Yeah, that's it. Sorry, wrong character. That was it.
So it leaves an ambiguity of is he on about Damien Sandow, or is he on about somebody he's acted as?
It's just
following the character he's in.
He's generally going to be up there as one of. If he keeps this up, he's going to be up there as one of my top 10 wrestlers of this year. He's so good. It's unbelievable. He's amazing that he's wrestled on WWE, but he's almost wrestling's best kept secret at the moment is the resurgence of Aaron Stevens. He's so good. We get a recap of Camille's attack on Alison Kay from last week, and then out of nowhere we just get a match between C.W. Anderson and Caleb Conley and the Dawsons, where the losing team get fired.
It's almost like somebody from Ring of Honor is looking after the contract, because the Dawson's contract run out tonight. You're like,
yeah,
why have you not re-signed them?
Who's in charge of your
contract? It's not Maria Manic.
Yeah, who's in charge of your contracts? And Mr. J. Koff. God damn it! No one's been signed. Or have they just gone, someone from Ring of Honor gone, "You have the Dawsons, but the Bouncers are basically the same." No, they're not, because the Dawsons are better. The Dawsons jump.
That shows a sad sign of Ring of Honor that 2 years ago, 14 months ago, they were probably going, "Bullet Club?"
Yeah.
And now they're going,
Bouncers? So yeah, the Dawsons jump Anderson and Conley to open. We get big chops. They fight to the outside. Dave then starts working over C.W. Anderson. They both start working over C.W. Anderson, hitting double team moves. They all get broken up. C.W. Anderson low bridges Zane. He get an Anderson spine buster and a moonsault, and the Dawsons are gone because reasons.
What was your initial reaction when that happened?
In general indifference.
Did you have... My mind, as soon as I saw that happen, went, I wonder if the question mark's going to have some brothers soon. Dun, dun, dun.
Only if there are other punctuation.
Yeah, the exclamation mark and the full stop.
No, one needs to be the capital letter and one needs to be the full stop, because one starts it and the other finishes it.
That's brilliant.
I did kind of steal that from the circle square with the people that were the A to Z of wrestling.
That's probably why they've done this. They were like, we're stealing that.
We get a recap from last week's assault to the bouncers to Eddie Kingston, and then joy of joys, here comes May Valentine and Sal Renaro, who I don't have any problem with. They talk about her blog, her upcoming lingerie line, and Renaro's injury. May Valentine's like, we should film your blog right here, right now. And she's like, okay. And they just stand in front of the crowd filming, saying nothing. Riveting stuff.
Yeah. Joe Galley just gets people into trouble. Was it Joe or was it Dave Marquez?
All of them do. They're just constantly getting people into trouble.
Dave Marquez. I'm sure. I think it was Marquez.
And then Royce Isaacs just comes out in a lovely shirt. Looks like he's just
beautiful.
Literally come fresh off of walking around Disneyland with his 3 kids. And he threatened to break the good arm of Sal for being there, and then May yelled at him to stop. This storyline is incredibly confusing.
Just to sort of like wind the tape back, as they were in Atlanta, it's like he's just walked out of the Coca-Cola factory with his 3 kids.
There we go. Dave Marquez talks to the Pope and the bouncers. The Pope says, I have not got coronavirus. It's the wrong Pope. They said they were talking about taking advantage of all the change he's bringing to the NWA. The Beer City Bruiser goes, we like money, and thanks to money, they'll become the NWA World Tag Team Champions. No, you won't. Because Eli Drake and James Storm beat them in a match that was there.
Yeah, and I got more excited for watching Eddie Kingston approach Pope.
I was watching Eddie Kingston for the entire match. I will say the finish was so like basically they batter Brian Malone. It's basically big lads any bouncer match you've watched in the last ever. They try and knock them off their feet. They can't. They work over one of them. They take over. Hot tag. They go for double teams and stuff. They poop can Malonis to the outside. They hit a double scoop slam on Malonis, a last call, and then Eli Drake wins with an elbow drop. Not a top rope elbow drop, a normal elbow drop.
Well, when you're that drunk, it's going to happen.
A little bit of the bubbly elbow drop.
But the question is, which one of the 4 was on about being drunk?
Eddie Kingston.
Yes.
Who dared Pope to get in the ring, but then Pope declined, and that was the end of Powerrr. It was an okay episode. Circle Squared again on next week, so...
2 episodes of it.
Yeah, back to back to back. Well, just back to back, to be honest. And then Super Powerrr is the week after, which I'm terrified about because it's probably going to be an hour and a half long.
Yeah, well, we've got one actual show between now and, was it April 24th?
Yes, which is when the Crockett Cup
not
is.
the right date. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
They've already announced one. Oh, no, they said the NWA Tag Team Champions are in the Crockett Cup. So James Storm, Eli Drake, and the Rock and Roll Express are in there. They've not announced anyone else yet, but they are going to have special shows with announcing the brackets and the matches and stuff.
Yeah, there's a Crockett Cup qualifiers show. Yeah. They're bringing back £10 of gold, which £10 of gold, which is always good. And to see the Marty and Nick Aldis stuff will be really cool, and they're both at WrestleCon, so they're going to shoot an angle at WrestleCon. I'm almost certain of.
TWM podcasts are brought to you by We Love Sport, the fantastic app finding you your nearest sports bar showing the latest WWE pay-per-views. We Love Sport has over 400 of the best sports bars and pubs in the UK at your fingertips and allows you to book front row seats, giving you the best views of the action. You can also check out what sports are being shown over the next 7 days, making sure you don't miss a second of the action. Download the We Love Sport app on the App Store or Google Play Store. Follow We Love Sport on all social media platforms at We Love Sport UK and check out welovesport.co.
TWM Podcasts have joined forces with WrestleCrate, the original and best monthly theme, monthly wrestling subscription service to bring you a fantastic deal. If you use the code TWM Wrestling when you sign up to a monthly subscription at WrestleCrate.co.uk, you will receive a free item in your first month's box. Then, if you stay for another month, you'll get a second free item. And then, if you stay for a third month, you guessed it, we'll give you a third free item. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. WrestleCrate brings you the best swag from the biggest companies and names in the wrestling world. We're talking t-shirts, photos, pins, DVDs, vinyl figures, and loads more from WWE, Progress, Shakara, NXT, Fight Club Pro, and loads more. That's WrestleCrate.co.uk and use the code TWM Wrestling for up to free items, all thanks to WrestleCrate and TWM.
Let's talk about all the other stuff from the last few days. It's been a bit of a quiet week. There's been some big cancellations, but that's about it.
Wait a minute. Yesterday was the New Japan 48th anniversary. Today was the first day of the New Japan Cup.
Yes, if you were on if you're on Taichi's Twitch channel, did you see what they did?
No, I have not.
In replacement of the anniversary show, they directed everyone to Taichi's Twitch, and he did the entire thing on Fire Pro Wrestling.
This is why he is the greatest wrestler alive.
No, I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I did read it, and I was like, "That's brilliant." It'd be like, we're just gonna imagine if that was canon. They had that as legitimate results.
That would have been so funny.
It's very true. Hiromu's beaten Naito in 35 minutes in a no rope barbed wire death match. Comes through, he's won all the belts. He's like, Taichi! They have announced the dates for the 27th Best of the Super Juniors tournament. Of course, this is all very tentative considering the situation around the world with coronavirus. However, they said the tournament's going to start on May 12th and run 3 days straight in Kurikan Hall, and then they're going to do 3 days on May 21st, and then one final date on June 4th, and the finals will take place on June 6th at the Ota Ward General Gymnasium in Tokyo, I believe. They've not announced any participants in the tournament, and block formatting. Will Ospreay won last year's tournament, as you'll be well aware. Let's have some fun with this. Mike, give me someone that you know will be in there, someone that you would like to see in there, and then a complete wild card pick for someone that could be in there. A bold, we'll call it a bold prediction. So someone that's definitely in there, someone you'd like to see in there, and then a bold prediction to be in the tournament.
Somebody I know will be in there. I'll go with Robbie Eagles.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a shit out answer. Sorry.
We'll try. We'll get one episode where someone doesn't swear in the next 2 weeks.
One I would like is going to be Babanaro Cavanario.
That'll be nice.
I think he's really, really into it. And my out of left field bold call is going to be Slex.
Oh, that's an interesting one. That is a very, very interesting one.
No, Mick Moretti, sorry. I'm changing it to Mick Moretti.
Oh, you've replaced one Australian with another.
I
am someone definitely going to be in there, and someone who's probably going to have a big breakout tournament is Show from Roppongi 3K. It's over. I feel like this is the tournament where they're going to have one of Roppongi 3K at least make the final.
I think this is the year that they split them up. I think by the end of the year they will definitely be split up.
There is my bold prediction. One of them is going to end up in Bullet Club by the end of the year.
My prediction is Yo ends up in LIJ.
That's an interesting one, right? So you know what? Let's do a gentleman's bet. We'll do it.
Okay.
I will buy you a refreshing carbonated beverage. I will say that Show ends up in the Bullet Club by the end of the year. You're saying that Yo ends up in LIJ.
Yeah.
Okay, agreed. And if no one wins, then
We kiss.
There we go. That's it. No one wins. We kiss and we put it on the internet.
When really we win.
If no one wins, we win. That got weird really quickly. Someone that I would like to see in there. Trying to think of. What's his name? Not Caristico. He's one of the other guys from CMLL.
Guerrero Maya Jr.
No, that
was another one in my mind.
Trying to think.
Obviously, our favourite luchador.
What?
Flyer.
Literal flyer. I can't remember his name. It's not Caristico. He was in like a tag match with Caristico and Barbonaro Cavanario.
Valiente.
Caristico. I'm literally writing I'm writing Barbonaro and then writing ROH and hoping something comes. Here we go. It's not Stuka Jr. It is. I'm trying to find his name. Templario. That's it.
Oh, Templario.
Yeah, Templario, because he's the one with like the white mask and the red markings. Templario. That's right. Yeah. Him, and then my bold prediction is Oku. As much as you told me he's not going to be in the tournament, I've got a feeling he's going to end up being in there. But I'm interested in who's going to win Best of Super Juniors. I don't think it'll be Sho or Yo this year. There's no.
I think there's no. They need to rise somebody. I think it could be the year if we really just. They've built him along nicely since he debuted in the Junior Tag League in 2018, and he's had like a year and a half now. He sells a massive amount of merchandise. He could really sort of put the rockets under him and make him the true sniper of the sky.
I might be going too logically here, but they need a good heel to go up against Hiromu for that belt. So I'm actually going to punt for ELP.
Yeah. Especially, that will be the almost like the Grand Slam if he then wins the title. He'll win everything.
He'll be the best cruiserweight of all time. Confirmed. I thought
he'll win the title and then just walk out the ring and rip off Liger's mask.
I am now. I've got a feeling that ELP's going to win it because I feel like he's dropped the British Cruiserweight belt, so therefore he can spend more time in Japan, and I feel like they're going to push him as kind of almost the replacement they've not really had for a Skull in that division. They've not really. They've kind of got a ready replacement for Ospreay now. Takahashi's back, and they've not had They didn't have a replacement for Marty as the good villainous junior heavyweight in that division. And I think ELP is the perfect person. And also, I'm fascinated by the idea of having Takahashi versus ELP.
Yeah, and also another thing like off on the side, he's been out on excursion for quite a while. And I almost say it every time. No, Kawado.
Oh yeah, Kawado. He's been
strike me. It was like, could this be the moment they bring him back? He's been out for almost 2 years now, so
he's just loving life in CMLL.
Said nope. Would he ever?
Progress. They've announced 2 people for the tournament over the last few days. They've announced Paul Robinson, the Pro champion, and Ilya Dragunov joining Jonathan Gresham, Chris Ridgway, Travis Banks, Sonico, and Rampage. Very, very punch-kicky tournament so far. Apart from Sonic.
Yeah, it's either punch kicky or grapple heavy.
Matt Richards is basically making what's it?
He's going full King's Road, isn't he?
He's going Tetsujin but bigger. That's what he's done there. Some little bit.
Tetsujin is effing Ali.
They've announced 2 things for the fun post show. The one thing we're excited about: Kaiju's back.
The biggest of battles.
And also they've announced Extreme Attitude 1998, which I am
it's the show we all wanted.
Yeah, they normally do the throwback shows, the chapter after Strong Style, but they're doing it as a side project.
If anything, this is actually the show is at the same time as year as those shows normally are. Yeah, it's just Strong Style's the different weekend.
Because of the reason to
V-Day celebration.
Yeah. So I'm so excited. Like, it's going to be 2 nights.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
2 nights in a row, or my face is going to hurt from laughing. It's gonna be I don't know where they're holding it. I don't know if it's going to be in Ali Pali.
Yeah, it's in Ali Pali.
So they're going to try and make that look like a 1998. That's going to be interesting to see how they do.
Oh, it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Just please, just put in front of the entranceway. Just put up some fake brick and some chain link fence. That's all you have to do.
And just some trash cans in there that are set on.
Yeah. If they can film and reenact the entirety to the 1998 Rory's War, or if you haven't got the time, just get whoever does the videos. I think it's Brian does the videos. Just get him to superimpose all the Progress wrestlers' heads onto everyone else.
Yes,
particularly
that
Paul Robinson onto the body of Ahmed Johnson. It's something I'd really enjoy.
I don't know why, but I want Travis Banks to do the Stone Cold bit at the start, walking through.
I'm so fascinated by all of that.
But Trav passes people and shakes their hands.
I want Travis Banks to be New Jack. Come on, bucket, you cowards. Anyway, Ring of Honor, a whole bunch of stuff. Roosh has won the Ring of Honor title for the second time, defeating PCO and Mark Haskins, thanks to Nick Aldis. They're doing PCO and Nick Aldis at Supercard of Honor. Roosh is going to be defending the belt against Mark Haskins. Go on, Mark, at the 18th anniversary. Yeah. And then the winner of that is facing Flip Gordon at Supercard of Honor. Again, over Mania weekend. They've announced a bunch of names for the Pure Title Tournament. Tracy Williams, Rocky Romero, Freddie AI, and some young up-and-coming rookie I've never heard of before, Yuji Nagata.
Oh, Michael Oku's dad.
Yes, it's like generally. I think shout out to Sideburns, top bloke. He put the picture of the guy in the tournament. He's like, "Shut up! I've always liked Ring of Honor. What are you talking about?" I was like, true. "Yeah, don't worry. I'm exactly the same thing." I'm like, Nagata's in the tournament. I'm like, you've piqued my interest, mainly because I want to see Nagata against Doug Williams. Just want to see two dads smack each other about a bit.
It's like an international dad scrap.
That's what it should be called. The following contest is an international dad scrap scheduled for one fall. Ring of Honor and New Japan have announced the dates for War of the Worlds. They're doing Buffalo, Toronto, Kalamazoo, which always pops me, and then weirdly, I just noticed this. I think it's Chicago, but they've got it down as Villa Park, Illinois. So
they didn't know that's Birmingham. Yeah, they're doing Birmingham.
They are doing it. They're the main event's going to be PCO versus Jack Grealish,
Chris Sutton.
Chris Sutton. What a random Dion Dublin. May 6th to May 10th is War of the Worlds. GCW. Stuff's happened.
Strap yourself in for this one, kids.
Yeah, it's the ballad of Sonny Unu and the Great Muta. GCW put out a thing on their Twitter account saying that Great Muta was out of Spring Break 4 due to a collapse in negotiations. Apparently they went through all of the stuff, organised 2 deals from the wrestle at Spring Break and then to be at WrestleCon, and then Sonny Unu was like, well, we're going to have him go to a different vendor, but then you have to basically share. GCW said, well, then they can share travel and lodging expenses, and then Unu was like, no, you pay for all of it, he does 2 jobs, and then Ono's kicked off on Twitter and said preventing him from getting work. So it looks like Muta's not going to be at Spring Break, which is a shame.
No, one of the things I did see was it was from, I can't remember who it was from within GCW, but they put up all the stuff they'd originally agreed, and then a lot of things ended up adding an extra person on.
Yeah.
Which then was revealed as being Sonny Ono was the extra person that was added onto all this stuff once Ono got involved in the negotiations.
Yeah, so it's a shame, really.
Yeah.
Speaking of Great Muta, I believe this was his company at one point, or is his company, I can't remember, but Wrestle One has announced they're set to close their shows after April 1st. No reason to be given for the closure, although it's meant to be with money, cash flow issues. The promotion's been around since 2013. More people have left things. 16 Carat Gold, the forever cursed tournament, because everyone pulls out of the tournament constantly. This year, no exception. Alex Shelley's not in the tournament due to coronavirus. He hasn't got it. No one panic. He's a physician, and therefore he's got to stay in the country.
Being a professional.
Yes, because Alex Shelley is a godsend of a human being. WWE did what WWE do and go, yeah, you can borrow him. And go, no, sorry, we need him for the mid-card of NXT. Tough crap. Leo Rush is pulled out of the tournament, but they immediately replaced him with Jeff Cobb, and the entire wrestling Twitter went, how have you managed to replace him with someone better?
All I can think of is Jeff Cobb got pulled 2 years ago because of Lucha Underground contract and commitment and stuff like that.
Redemption.
So basically, In 2 years' time, Leo Rush is going to be a replacement. Mark my words.
Yeah, and then Viet Muller's backed out of the tournament, and no one cares. So, unless something really bad's happened, I feel really bad for that, but we've watched Viet Muller. we've sat through his matches.
We almost died through it.
Yeah, nothing of value was lost. WrestleCon, they've announced a strong style dream match, which I'm very excited to see, which is Zack Sabre Jr. against Low Ki. Kicks. Many kicks and many
Lots
submissions.
Stretching.
Yes. Low Ki will be 7'5" by the end of this match. And Zack Sabre Jr. will literally be pasta.
he will actually be the udon noodle boy.
Yeah. Anyway, that's your
What about, do we drop in about All Japan and Jun Akiyama?
Oh yes, obviously Jun Akiyama's been there's some rumblings going around that because Jun Akiyama's come into NXT to have a look around and be a guest coach. There's very strong rumours that All Japan could end up becoming NXT Japan.
Yeah.
Which would be
a shame.
It would literally be the biggest slap in the face of Japanese wrestling. That, like, I do believe All Japan was around before New Japan.
Barely. They were formed in 1972, but like
it would be
they got ahead by a couple of months.
It would be the equivalent of like in like the 90s WWF. Like in the 90s 2000s WWF buying Pro Wrestling Noah and making it into OVW Japan. It's just
it's exactly that.
Yeah, it would be inlay. And the fact that majority of fans and people in Japan have just gone, go away. Get out of here, ghost. We don't want you in here anymore. We've seen what you've done to the other places. It's disgusting.
It would be a shame.
It would be.
Because that company's got so much great history. The only potential positive, and it's a potential positive, is if they buy All Japan, they'll buy the TV license, the library, and hopefully that'll all go on the network, which would be really cool.
That would be fun. So just fearful for Danny Jones. He's gonna gutting. He's like, God damn it, to find another Japanese promotion to be a part of.
He'll be the first Welsh wrestler to wrestle for, or the first British wrestler to wrestle for NXT Japan.
NXT Japan. It's gonna be great. He's gonna become the new Mason Ryan. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at TWM Wrestle. Subscribe to us on Apple and Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, Acast, TuneIn, YouTube. Apologies, this has been a shorter episode than normal, but there wasn't a lot of wrestles this week. There will be next week, because I believe we'll be discussing Attack. Will be next week as well. We'll be discussing that, and there'll be more stuff on the lead up to WrestleMania. And we'll have a little chat about 16 Carat Gold. We might try and grab Lawson and ask him how 16 Carat Gold was. Anyway, on TWM News this week, there's loads of different stuff. Independent wrestling, we've got an Orange Cassidy article coming out, so definitely check that out. Loads of stuff going up on twm.news. Michael, social medias.
They exist.
They do. As do mine. I'm Matty ID. We're at TWM Wrestling. This has been the Wrestling World Report. Go and support your local wrestling. We'll be back next Wednesday.